Welcome back to Voice of Students.
Powered by Onata, local part-time jobs. So global warming means that our planet is getting hotter, and according to Vox.com, it is not the temperature change, but it is the rise in the average temperature of Earth's climate system since the late 19th century. It's important to make note of the Industrial Revolution as an important factor here. Temperatures over land and ocean have gone up from 0.8 degrees to 1 degree Celsius, on average in that span. So how do you guys think that you can change parts of your daily routine in order to help not only yourselves, but your surrounding communities when it comes to climate change?
Well, I don't have the money to buy an electric car, nor can we switch to electric stoves or other electric things and clean energy. But I think since my car is fairly new, I don't need to have it running in the winter. I can probably just maybe put on an extra layer and get in the car and not worry about that. I could probably try, like you said, public transportation, or maybe not driving everywhere. I try to drive everywhere because I hate walking, but I think those changes can help. But it's not fair to ask someone to spend thousands of dollars to change their lifestyle when huge companies aren't even making that choice. Like Amazon packages everything with 3 layers of plastic to send it an hour or two away, anywhere. So it's up to us, but it's also not up to us.
I feel like the little things matter. So what I personally would do is, definitely water conservation for me. I use a lot of water.
Shorter showers, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I feel like shorter showers is a big thing for me, especially probably trying to drink tap. I'm not really big on it at all. I don't feel like...
It tastes different. It does.
It really does. It's a really big challenge for me. Definitely trying to purify my water. I would be willing to at least buy a water purifier for my faucet at home and be willing to, see how the tap water goes. I'm definitely big on Fiji water. But like I said, I would definitely see with more water conservation for me personally. My car is a little bit older, so definitely idling my car, I would probably try to hold back on that. Like Jane said, wearing layers is definitely a big thing. I would definitely be willing to, put on another shirt or two, so that way I'm not as cold getting into my car. Lights, definitely not leaving the lights on and the TV on. Not only does it, run up the bill, but it's just more electricity and more of your gas running. Same thing with heat. If you're not in the house, maybe you can turn your heat down a little bit lower, so not everything's pumping so much, and you'll be able to turn it on later. Just energy conservation.
Yeah, and I think all those are great ideas, but
Yes, they are.
But I mean, it's hard to not do it. I mean, I'm a commuter, you're a commuter. It's hard. We can't even get to school. We have to go on the highway. We have to drive, and when it's cold in the winter, it's not like we can take a bike or we can go feasibly get onto a bus schedule. I mean, it's just kind of inconvenient to do all those things. Like you said with Amazon, it's got to start from the top, and then it's got to trickle down to the bottom, where it's realistically it's feasible for everyone to do it. But I think the small things, they do help, but I think it's got to start from the top.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Jane said about spending thousands of dollars trying to conserve energy, like buying an electric car, or buying a new stove that's electric, or just revamping your whole house. It's a lot of money for middle class and even lower class citizens. So I feel like we should, although we would have to start small, I definitely agree with both of you that it starts from the top. So the Amazon and packaging, and even just have UPS running their their trucks everywhere, and post office, things like that. It would have to be starting from factories and big industries and big companies that pretty much hold everything accountable.
Right.
And earlier you were saying that people wouldn't realize it, a problem unless it's right in their face. So who's that's going to affect are people of lower income. They're going to see the effects first, because rich people can just buy stuff. They can just move somewhere else. They can move to an island.
Right.
But what's going to suck is that we're not going to, lower income people or middle class people aren't going to be concerned with it, and then we're going to see the effects, and then we're going to be angry. But we're not only blaming ourselves, we're blaming all those rich people who have so much money, and all those big corporations that aren't making changes.
Yeah, you even seen like lower income families. People know that eating fast food isn't good for you, but that's the cheapest option, and people have families to feed, and they have to do that. Like it's not it's extremely expensive to, like you said, to get a new car that is better for the environment, electric car. But it's not economically possible unless there's like cheaper options and like companies actually care to lower the prices or make it feasible for people to do it. It's not going to happen.
It's not their main focus.
No, it's not.
Especially when you're a college student too.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Definitely
you
agree.
said that we see a lot of college students doing a lot of online shopping, and you mentioned that Amazon uses a lot of packaging material. So initially when internet and emails and iPads were not there, the technology was not there, people used to burn a lot of 5,000 acres of forest. So the forest was getting depleted. But now the technology is, because of the technology, we see a lot of plastics and a lot of packaging material that is being used. So what is your view? What should be done?
Well, at Rutgers, I think there's, like, again, it's inconvenient to get rid of all your plastics. And because you're a college student, you're already paying thousands of dollars in tuition, and so just to get like fast food where they have like a bag and then something around the food, instead of going somewhere local like Honey Grow where they like wash all their things and you don't have to take takeout. It's really a choice like you have to make while you're there, and if you have the means to make that choice. But Rutgers I think there's students at Rutgers who are doing like a group effect, trying to get rid of trying to make recycling like single-use plastics and stuff like that. So there is an effort, but I don't see it coming from the university.
That's actually funny because one of my friends in class, she actually was handing out, pamphlet to sign, so that way like they would stop giving out like those single plastic bags that you get
At
from like
the dining hall?
Yeah.
Like things like that, or like the grocery store that you have, like they're trying to ban it from like New Brunswick. And to me, I'm like an advocate for like single plastic bags. Like I use them for like everything. If I don't have something, I'll just put it in a plastic bag. Like if I'm running out of bags of something else, I'm packing, I'm trying to go somewhere, I'll use those. So I feel like they're almost essential for people as a college student. I can't just go buy like a whole new tote and just use it as I please, especially if it's like something that I only need for like 5 minutes. I could probably, I don't know, give it to somebody else. If it's raining and someone doesn't have an umbrella, like most of the time they'll put a plastic bag. Or I know a lot of people, they like to, keep their shoes clean. If it's raining outside, they'll put plastic bags over their shoes. And at the same time, I'm not a resident of New Brunswick. I go to school there. I don't live there. So for me as someone who's not a resident to say and demand that, everyone who resides in New Brunswick needs to not use plastic bags, you're only thinking about the university. You're not thinking about the people who live outside it. So I just feel like me as myself, being not a resident, I don't think I have the choice to say I should or shouldn't have plastic bags.
In California at Target, they have if you have plastic bags, if you need a plastic bag to like take your stuff home, they charge you like an extra like 30 cents per bag. But if you have like the reusable bags, you can use those and it's free. So like I think there you're giving a choice to the person, like, do you want to do this or do you not want to? Because if you need like 8 bags, that's like another like $2.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think as a university, they should make changes like that, get rid of plastic bags, like don't sell, get rid of straws. But like I said, there's no effort. Like at a town hall recently, they said that to give the whole campus clean energy and to put more solar panels and stuff like that is realistically not going to happen. And they said that to everyone there. They were like, it's not going to happen in 5-10 years. It's because it's thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think you mentioned it earlier. I think people aren't going to realistically change unless it's a financial burden. Even if it's going to be 30 cents per plastic bag, people are going to start bringing their own bags.
Yeah.
They'll think twice about it.
Yeah, because it's going to be affecting them. That's like with every issue we've been talking about today, is that the issue, people aren't going to want to make changes until it affects you. And yeah, I think definitely the money issue is a big thing that once it starts affecting you personally, then people will start making change.
So that's like I would say that's a good idea for people to make those small changes that we've been
So
talking about.
do you think there are any programs in your universities that you are participating or any of your friends are participating in that? That is
Are
helping.
there initiatives, clubs, organizations, things you guys see?
Yeah, NJ Perg has a chapter at Rutgers, and they
Okay.
like do stuff like this all the time. And like you said, the person getting the signed
Right.
petitions. Yep,
Right.
that was them. So they're doing a lot of good work to get people involved, or at least to like care a little bit. So I don't know any other organizations on campus though that do it.
I actually don't know any either besides NJ Place as well.
Okay, so you guys said that you know of the student organization NJ Perg, and you don't know about any other organizations on campus? Are you aware of any other initiatives?
I'm not aware of anything else, but I see that there is like reluctance to making like these small changes or to like joining NJ Perg. Like the other day in class, there was a student who was asking people to sign her petition, and like a majority of the students did it. And then the teacher was like, "Well, did you talk to like a politician about it? Did you talk to the city mayor of New Brunswick? Like, did you talk to some administrative people?" Like he was giving all these suggestions without knowing what NJ Perg does or what she was doing on her own, like outside of class. And so I felt like from his perspective, he was saying all these things and like saying, you have to go this much further to get anything done, and she's just here. And that kind of like is discouraging to hear. Like, I'm doing so much, and now you're
Backhanded.
yeah, it's like a backhanded suggestion. So I see like people aren't like totally gung ho on board as I wish they would be.
Okay.
And joining NJ Perg is a lot of commitment. You have certain amount of hours, certain amount of events you have to go to. So you have to be like in it to want to make a change. It's not something casual you can do. Most casual thing is probably signing that petition. Like you did it took like 5 seconds.
No, yeah, it wasn't anything at all. And I think if people did do more things like that and to say, hey, it's an easy way to get in and do it, but then it's a big commitment after the fact that people aren't making that extra step,
right.
that I feel like that's where it's kind of stopping it from going anywhere.
Like this is a different social movement than all the other movements that we've had. Like this isn't for like civil rights. This isn't for like feminism or like it's
the same thing we've been talking about though. Like if it's not happening to you, it's like almost non-existent. Especially as college students, we have so much other stuff going on, school, like social lives, everything like that. Honestly, the environment is like the last thing we're thinking about. Like we're trying to rush to take out the trash. Like I'm not even thinking about recycles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss class. I'm gonna be late. Like right now, I can care less. So we're in that age group, in that generation where it's like we're not really focused on that until, like we were just saying, until it happens to you. Then it's like, oh God, like okay, now we need to get it together. So I definitely feel like we kind of slack at that with Rutgers, with having different organizations that talk more about environment and changing the environment, helping the environment, going out and like doing community service like a cleanup or things like that, or even planting a tree or doing like maybe some like boat cleanup, volunteering and like getting a donation of a boat and like cleaning the river that's like near the river dorms, like on College Ave, like things like that.
Remember when we were kids, there was in school on Earth Day, we were like all doing an activity, like I remember cleaning the forest behind our school.
Right.
And like that was a whole dedicated to it. And then it became like a whole week you would put in this effort. If we could somehow take that energy and put that into like a whole year or a lifestyle. But again, realistically, that's not going to happen because we're so busy and we don't care, and life just hits you fast, and then you're out of school and you're like, why do I care about whether Rutgers uses renewable energy or not?
Right, and I think that's the issue we face, is that nobody thinks it's going to affect them, and all of this awareness that people that are trying to change climate change are bringing up, they're saying that everybody's going to eventually have to deal with it, and that within the next 10 years is when it's really going to rapidly start changing. And when it's actually in front of people's faces, there's not going to, unfortunately, be that much that you can do once it's actually happening.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, when's the cutoff date? 2030?
I think it's
Right?
2030.
Yeah,
2030.
11 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your great answers.
in the next segment, we'll be talking about the Green New Deal.